This is your boy Chef coming from the Gundam Kitchen. And today we're going to be looking at the Sinanju RG. Came out a little while ago, early September in the US. Been in Japan for most of August, but you know how it takes a little longer to get to the US. A lot of people have already done reviews on this online, but we're not going to do a review. We're going to go over my thoughts on the kit and look at, some of the pros and cons of the kit. There's a lot of negatives on this kit that the reviewers have pointed out. But me owning a store, I see a lot of new builders come into my store talking about all the YouTube reviews they watch, and they get discouraged by negatives. But a more experienced modeler would just go and buy the kit because he likes the kit and make it work. So I'm going to help you with that. I'm going to show you some tips and tricks to get this model working for you so we can get past some of those negatives that it has. Because all in all, the model is incredible. It is one sexy mobile suit. I like to think of it as the Ferrari of mobile suits. That's just the first thing I gotta say about this thing. Bigger than your regular RG, pushing towards master grade sizes. Polished finish on the red, amazing. Gold pieces that aren't stickers, incredible. Black pieces have a nice finish to them too. To round it out, you can't lose with the finish quality. Nothing's gonna come out of the box better than this than maybe a titanium kit. This is the only thing that's gonna look better out of the box. Got these nice curves on it, really glossy finish on it. Everybody comes into the store, thinks I painted it, and I'm like, no, that's the way it came. So a great out-of-the-box build that needs a little work to it. Now let's get to the negatives. The two things that everybody's citing as some of the negatives for this kit are the nub marks and the torso's floppiness. So let's talk about that floppy torso. You guys know this came from the Mark II Real Grade frame, and they just stretched it out and made it bigger. And this was also an issue with that Mark II. So dealing with this issue, I came up with two pretty simple solutions. I'm sure you do some more complex ones, but these are great for beginners and they're not permanent. So that's another great advantage. As you can see, first time I just cut a piece of the runner out and taped it near where the torso and the waist meet to limit that motion of it going backwards. And then the next time I cut another piece out. This time I made sure it was light gray, and I put double-sided tape around it, not all the way around, leaving a section that would be exposed without tape. And then I just slapped that in there, and it's good to go right now. It's stuck in there. It limits his lean backward by about 70%. So this way he can stand and not have his backpack pulling him down to the ground. I'm sure there's other ways to wedge stuff in around, and there's probably ways also if you wanted him on a certain pose to angle these same kind of improvements. But these are great because they're not permanent, so if you do want to switch your poses up, you can. Just be mindful, when people gripe about the posability of a Gundam figure, they're not action figures, they're models, and we're pretty lucky that Bandai makes stuff this good. So let's not expect it to be 100-point articulation.
Now the nubs.
Yes. You'll get worse than nub marks on this kit. You could easily divot, especially the black plastic. I think everybody's super concerned about that red plastic because it has a great finish on it, and they don't want to mess that up, and they're worried about undergates. But I don't know if it's this intuitive, but you're extremely careful in cutting that red plastic. And as long as you cut it with, the first cut being far away on the gate, and the next cut fairly close, leaving just a little bit, and then trim it up with your knife, you'll be fine. The gold was mostly undergated, so you're not going to get too many marks. You can cut it a little closer. That gold plastic's soft enough to get pretty close cuts. The black plastic, on the other hand, man, some of those gates were thick connecting to the part, and that plastic is real brittle. I chunked the mess out of that thing a couple times, so I'm gonna have to go through with some putty and fix those up. Here are some pictures of me fixing up the shield, because I start with my weapons first. A little trick I hear going around on the internet is to start with your weapons first, because after you build everything else, you'll be tired and you won't want to do the weapons and the backpack and all that. So I started with the weapons first, which I like the speed of the build that way, but I didn't have too much experience with the plastic yet, and I put some huge divots in my shield. So easy repair. I used some light putty. I used Vallejo's putty. Put the putty in divots, and then I came back with just the Gundam red marker, and you can't even see it anymore. If you're really looking, yeah, you can see it, but it's just because the shade of paint's a little different. I could probably throw some gloss paint on there, you wouldn't even see it. Same thing can work with the black. I'll just hit it with some putty, come with a gloss black paint on it, you won't even see it anymore. So don't let the marks from cutting stuff out hold you back too much. I will tell you, you will want to be surgical with this kit. You will really want to take your time and cut out each piece very carefully. Like I said, do cut far away on the gate, then go closer to the part, and then shave it with a sharp brand new blade on a X-Acto knife or whatever knife you're using, and that will give you the best results. You can't really sand this too much, especially on the gold or the red, so you're going to want to just shave it. The technique I use to cut with, I'm not actually cutting at the nub, but I actually cut away from myself, letting the blade slice through the nub and remove it. And when I did it this way, a lot of times on the red, I actually got it back to gloss red without doing anything. It just sliced it right back to a glossy finish. And then I would just have a little bit of white stress marks at the ends, which I would hit the Gundam marker, which is a great way to use your Gundam markers. I suggest getting a kit of Gundam markers. However that paint is made, just rubs right off. So what I do is I slap it on the little white stress marks or divots and stuff like that, let it sit for a couple seconds, wipe the excess off, and it dyes that section. And then you have, something you can barely tell that was there.